For a very long time, people believed that geese grew on trees. All because of this, the goose barnacle, and its passing resemblance to this, the barnacle goose. So named because, well, you see, people in medieval Europe observed two things. One, they would often find goose-ish looking barnacles in the water attached to pieces of driftwood, and two, despite the fact that they saw barnacle geese living around them during much of the year, during the summer they could never find any barnacle goose eggs or catch any barnacle geese mating or building nests. So they put one and two together and came to the conclusion that the wood with the barnacle on it must have come from a tree branch, and that the tree branch must have come from a goose tree, and that it must have fallen out of the goose tree into the water before the goose bud could finish growing into a full-grown goose and fly away. The missing piece of the puzzle was migration, something that science would not explain until several centuries later. And without that one crucial bit of knowledge, the belief that geese grew on trees lasted for a very long time and made its way into some very nice-looking books. They had reached a conclusion, and then they came up with a story to explain it. And this sort of backward thinking used to explain a whole lot, actually. Learned people going all the way back to Aristotle believed that flies came from tainted meat, and that mice came from piles of dirty rags, and that the source of diseases like cholera was the stinky air that people who died of cholera tended to produce. Thanks to science, you know that none of that is true, and you also know that you aren't in the center of the universe right now, or even in the center of the solar system, and that if you come down with a fever, you should probably reach for a pill instead of a knife. But have you ever wondered why you needed science to tell you those things? Just like the people who believed in goose trees, your natural way of understanding the world is to start with a conclusion and then polish and protect that conclusion with biased observations. Science keeps you from becoming too attached to your assumptions by subjecting them to as much abuse as possible. It forces you to look for evidence to the contrary. It seeks the truth by revealing the false. Over the years, this method has eliminated so many ridiculous hypotheses that in a few generations your species went from burning witches and drinking mercury to mapping the human genome and playing golf on the moon. Just know for now, your hamster wheel of limited knowledge will keep spinning unless you challenge your beliefs on a routine basis. Luckily, scientists all over the world are doing that for you right now, for flavors of ignorance you've yet to even discover. And that's why you don't believe that geese grow on trees, and why, in general, you are now less dumb.